In its totality.
In totality, yes.
That's right. Not otherwise.
Yes.
You agree that all have to be right in the beginning, but they have gone through such metamorphosis that they are no longer recognizable. And the differences we find are man-made, and so we must search for some religion which has not been interpolated by man to that degree. That brought you on the threshold of Islam. But there you found so many differences within. How can you resolve it? By the same guideline, the same principle which you applied in relation to all others. Go to the teachings of different sects and concepts and beliefs and apply them to the touchstone of your inner truth. And because you have never been misled so far in your journey, I assure you that you will not be misled again, ever after. That is the only way to find out the truth, and to sum up the beliefs is not difficult. To cover the arguments is a very difficult task and very involving task. So instead of starting your journey into the realm of arguments, you better inquire from knowledgeable people of all these sects in Islam as to what would you like me to believe as Islam.
Yes, because one of the problems I have is that what people say is not necessarily what the teachings of that particular sect are. These are, you can't look at so-and-so or this body or that political and say, therefore, that whole sect is tarred with that and that's their belief. That's not. Actually, what the teaching is contrary to the actions of these people.
No, I'm not talking of that. I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I never said that you come to me and inquire from me what the beliefs of Wahhabis or Barelvis or Shiites are. No, not that. I said, inquire from the leaders of those religions themselves.
Right.
And tell them to give you in nutshell their concept of God and religion and the world here and the hereafter and the purposes of man. These are the larger issues in which man is fundamentally interested. The minor differences don't matter much. And find out about the time when Islam was to deteriorate and disintegrate, almost disintegrate. What should have happened? Who would save Islam from this ruin? Inquire about these. And then put the same questions to us.
Yes, as far as you're concerned, what I would like to know, for the little I know, anybody who says that he's done more than scratch the surface is a fool. Because it is not something that you can just,
no, that is not what I'm suggesting either.
Yeah, so therefore what I'm saying is, what I'd like to know from you is, in terms of the Messiah, there has been, you're not going to believe that unless there's plenty of...
Have you not noticed, sir, that I'm avoiding this answer to this question?
Yes.
Not because I do not know, but because the time is so short now.
Yes, I understand.
That this requires a very long explanation, covers a lot of areas.
I will make sure that
you are a very intelligent person. That is why I suggested to you that don't call it a single difference.
Yeah, I'm sure there are more than...
Out of this difference are born so many. So I'll have to chase all of them, until you're satisfied. I hope you will. But study more about it.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullah.
There's two parts to my question.
Please.
The first part is, what are your views on Ahmadis who think that Ahmadis should only marry Ahmadis?
Ahmadis should only marry Ahmadis.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, the reason I say this is because
You see, I tell you, Islam, that is particularly the Holy Quran, speaks of inter-religious marriages and permits Muslim men, only to marry within the area of Ahl Kitab, within the, the four walls of such religions as are considered to be the revealed religions, not man-made. And do not marry among idolaters. Even if a man, Muslim, intends to marry an idolatrous woman, the Holy Quran does not permit that. As far as the ladies are concerned, the Holy Quran speaks of Muslim girls and says they should not marry like Muslim men are permitted to marry among the Ahl Kitab. They should marry only among themselves. Now, this is the principle from which we have taken our cue. Why should Holy Quran discriminate between man's rights of marriage and woman's rights of marriage in relation to religion? The obvious answer is that women, I'm not talking of the Western, so-called leaders of emancipation and so on. I'm talking of the world as a whole. Women, in fact, are weaker in comparison to men because they're physically stronger and they are the bread earners. So in religion, most often, men enforce their religion upon their children. So if a true believer, a woman in Islam who is a true believer, gives birth to children only to be handed over to such people as she believes are wrong, it's if she is sensible and meaningful and also sensitive to these issues, it will create a hell for her. So it is to save these contradictions and the contradictions of upbringing later on that Islam does not permit its women to marry outside. So a sort of division is created within Islam, and in application to such divisions, we apply the same formula. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the second part is, in this case, if I myself was to marry a white Christian, what would your views be on this?
Right. You can.
Yeah.
There is no inhibition.
Okay.
But remember this, that the principle involved in not prohibiting Muslim girls should not be altogether ignored. You must understand the philosophy. If the main purpose, as I have suggested, is to save your progeny from contradictions and being brought up in a sort of tug-of-war atmosphere between man and woman, then it is better to marry among the people of your own faith and your own beliefs. And if, as I have found sometimes, a Christian girl is only a girl Christian in name, and she has no inhibitions whatsoever regarding the husband giving his religion to children, then it's not problematic. But if she belongs to, for instance, Jehovah's Witnesses, then you have had it. Right? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Abbe Pokech.
Abdul?
Abbe. My mother calls me Abbe, and my father's name is Okech. And so I become Abbe Pokech.
Pokech. Right.
If you would allow
And
me,
you're also from Nigeria?
I come from Uganda.
Uganda?
Yes.
Which part of Uganda?
I come from the
Northern region or southern region?
From the northern Uganda. From northern Uganda.
I understand.
Which does not agree very much with the foreign religions.
I understand, yes. You
We
see, there are more local tribal religions in the north
no,
than in the south.
it's not tribal. It's called religion of the oppressed.
I understand. Okay, whatever name you gave, but I have followed.
I would like, with your permission,
Yes, please.
to find the number of women among your audience. Please put up your hand. Women.